5 family members perish in early morning house fire. Iran arrests 60 Malaysians after seizing ship in Strait of Hormuz. Hello and good afternoon. You're watching the afternoon bulletin of News on 2 with me, Muhammad Amin Carlos. Now, 5 members of a family perished and another was injured in an early morning fire which destroyed a house in Kampung Menara Pamilaan in Tenom, Sabah. Now, Sabah Fire and Rescue Department in a statement said they received a distress call at about 12:46 a.m. before dispatching 2 engines with 8 firemen led by Tenom Fire and Rescue Station Chief Zanal Sinsian. Now, the fire and rescue team managed to douse the flame at about 3:29 a.m. The victims were identified as Khatijah Omar, 35, her children, 9-year-old Sakiran Sulaiman, 6-year-old Zahid Sulaiman, 3-year-old Sapura Sulaiman, and her 12-year-old niece Adira Suhaila. Khatijah's husband, Sulaiman Hajar, suffered burns on the head and arms in the incident. He was sent to Tenom Hospital for further treatment. Now, the Sabah Fire and Rescue Department stated that a Perodua Kalisa was also burnt in the incident. Well, a total of 30 main roads in the national capital and Putrajaya would be closed in stages from 8 p.m. tonight for the New Year's Eve celebration. Now, Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Dato Sri Mazlan Lazim said over 20,000 visitors were expected for the celebration, which would be held simultaneously with the launching of the Visit Malaysia Year 2020 and a 2020 Malaysian Christmas Open House. In a media conference at the Kuala Lumpur Police Contingent Headquarters, Dato Sri Mazlan said among the roads that would be closed were Jalan Kuching, Jalan Raja around Dataran Merdeka, along Jalan Ampang, and Jalan Yap Kwan Sing at KLCC, Jalan Raja Chulan to Jalan Bukit Bintang, Jalan Imbi, Jalan Jinjang Utara, and several other major roads, including those around the Putrajaya Corporation Complex. Dato Sri Mazlan said several locations are also expected to be areas of visitors' focus during the New Year's Eve, namely Dataran Merdeka, Putrajaya Corporation Complex, KLCC, Pavilion Shopping Centre, Sunway Velocity Cheras, Jinjang Utara Public Field, and Solaris Publica.
Kita juga meminta kerjasama daripada orang ramai, iaitu sentiasa menjaga keselamatan diri dan barangan. Contohnya, berhati-hatilah. Kita takut tak mahu ada seluk saku berlaku, dan juga meninggalkan barangan ataupun barang-barang berharga di dalam kereta yang berkenaan, dan juga kalau boleh gunakan jalan-jalan alternatif.
Over 1,000 policemen and officers would be on duty during the celebration from 8 a.m. to after midnight. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Mazlan said firm action would be taken against individuals who fly drones during the New Year's Eve celebration tonight. Well, he said the use of drones by the public during the celebration is not allowed, and police would act to kill the drone which is flown in the area of the celebration. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Commissioner Latifah Koya said the anti-graft body has no tolerance for any kind of assault while in detention, and that all allegations will be seriously investigated with full cooperation given to any investigating body. Well, she added that MACC has put in place, a stringent one of course, in Standard Operating Procedure SOP to arrest and detain suspects. Now, Latifah in a statement said a police report was lodged by an MACC official stating that the allegations of assault on 3 policemen while detention were false. Now, in the case, the 3 policemen were being investigated by MACC for allegedly extorting a drug abuse suspect. Well, she said that the investigation was part of an escalated drive by the Selangor MACC following allegations of extortion involving police. She also said the agency will give its full cooperation to facilitate police investigations into the case. Well, the Finance Ministry welcomes any suggestion and proposal that can help reduce the country's expenditure and boost its economy. This, he said, includes the proposal to cut the allowances of ministers and politicians. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng, however, said this matter involved ministers and their ministries, and he believed any implementation should be decided by Cabinet.
Sebagai Kementerian Kewangan, apa-apa penjimatan adalah sesuatu yang baik kerana saya ada Menteri Kewangan. So kalau kita boleh lihat ada penjimatan, tentu itu sesuatu yang saya alukan sebagai Kementerian Kewangan. Tetapi kerana ia melibatkan menteri-menteri lain ataupun kementerian lain, saya percaya perkara ini harus diputuskan oleh Kabinet.
Lim was commenting on the suggestion made by Youth and Sports Minister Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman, who had proposed that the government cut the allowances of politicians and ministers following the controversial decision to cut the Critical Service Incentive Payment (BIPK) for new doctors, nurses, engineers and other professionals joining the civil service from 1st January. The Federal Territories Ministry has secured 481 million ringgit for Kuala Lumpur City Hall or DBKL this year as a result of a review of 97 dubious land transactions. And its Minister Khalid Abdul Samad said all negotiations undertaken currently by the ministry and its agencies are made in accordance with a clear policy and regulations based on valuations done by the Valuation and Property Services Department.
Kita tak ada special offer harga yang murah daripada penilaian, harga kita beli lebih mahal daripada yang penilaian dan sebagainya. So ini apa yang pernah berlaku dulu takkan insya-Allah berlaku lagi, kerana kita telah menentukan prosedur yang ketat berhubung dengan semua transaksi tanah yang dilakukan di bawah Kementerian Wilayah Persekutuan bagi semua agensi-agensi.
On the achievements recorded by Putrajaya Corporation, Khalid said 212 international events had been organized, attracting up to 6 million visitors, while in Labuan, the first edition International Kite Festival 2019 attracted 34 foreign entries from Germany, Australia, Japan and Sweden, among others. On another note, Khalid has urged the residents and landowners of Kampung Segambut Permai in Kuala Lumpur to hold discussions to solve their dispute. Well, he said the ministry could not interfere with the issue as it involves private lands. Khalid explained that the landowners have received court orders to demolish the house built on the land. As such, the ministry, through the Kuala Lumpur City Hall, or DBKL, tried to ease the burden of the residents by offering transit homes in People's Housing Project, PPR.
So saya tak boleh tawarkan permanent solution. That was never the idea daripada awal, bukan permanent solution. Kita beri rumah nak selesaikan supaya mereka tak rumah mereka tak dirobohkan sambil barang-barang mereka masih ada dalam rumah, mereka ada tempat nak pindah, sambil beri tempoh 6 bulan mereka cuba atasi masalah mereka, dan sekiranya masalah kewangan mereka masih tak selesai dalam tempoh 6 bulan dan mereka masih lagi layak untuk diberikan rumah PPR di BKL, maka kita akan pertimbangkan 6 bulan selepas itu.
Khalid also urged the residents not to make unreasonable demands and accept the help offered. He explained that this is because there are about 50,000 applicants still in the waiting list to live in a PPR. The Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, KPD and HEP detained 2 individuals and seized 890 units of various types of suspected fake designer clothes worth more than 400,000 ringgit. Well, the raid was conducted along with representatives from branded companies in a hotel in Bangsar, Kuala Lumpur. The 2 suspects were detained while conducting sales of various counterfeit products using Gucci, Nike, Versace and Dior brands.
Peniaga telah disyaki melakukan kesalahan di bawah Akta Cadangan 2011 kerana menjual atau menawarkan atau mendedahkan bagi jualan apa-apa barang yang suatu cap dagangan dipakaikan dengan salah. Hasil pemeriksaan tersebut telah menyita pelbagai jenama yang menggunakan cap dagangan yang syaki dipakaikan dengan salah, artinya seperti baju, selendang, tali pinggang, seluar topi kasut dan cermin mata yang menggunakan cap dagangan pelbagai jenama.
Shamsul also urged the public to be cautious when buying branded goods and encouraged them to obtain them directly from authorized distributors. He added that the case is currently being investigated under Section 102, Subsection 1, Subsection B of the Trademark Act 2019. Well, coming up next, alternative mechanism needed prior to decriminalization of attempted suicide. Well, the Attorney General's Chambers, or AGC, is in the midst of finding an alternative mechanism suitable and effective to tackle mental health issues before a proposal to decriminalize suicide attempts can be tabled in the Cabinet. Now, Law Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dr. Liu Vui-Kiong, said this is being done by studying different mechanism models from several Commonwealth countries. Well, elaborating further in a statement released, Dr. Liu said as soon as the study is completed, a policy proposal will be prepared to be tabled to the Cabinet for approval. Well, if approved, a bill to amend the Penal Code to decriminalize suicide attempts in Malaysia will be tabled at the Dewan Rakyat. And the Minister also said, looking at AGC's development right now, he hoped to table the bill by the middle of 2020 at the soonest. Now, the Minister was commenting on the status of the government's plan to decriminalize suicide attempts. Dr. Liu added that soon after he announced the plan to decriminalize suicide attempts earlier this year, the AGC had begun studying the matter and looking into ways to implement the progressive approach in a holistic manner. Now, the AGC said had also held engagement sessions with various stakeholders, including the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, Youth and Sports Ministry, Psychiatrists Association, Befrienders, as well as religious associations to get their opinions and suggestions on the matter. 33,200 Fardu Ain and Kifaya, also known as Kafa teachers across the country, will enjoy the benefits provided by the social security organization SACSO. Well, this is following the move made by the Department of Islamic Development in Malaysia, or JAKIM, to provide contributions to the teachers totaling 6.9 million ringgit this year.
SACSO Deputy Chief Executive for Management Muhammad Rosli Madyasin said the contribution made was in line with the government's efforts to give workers social security protection to civil servants with temporary contract status.
Kita adakan taklimat kepada guru-guru Kafa dan sekaligus akan membantu mereka untuk memahami perlindungan yang disediakan oleh PKSO dalam memastikan kebajikan mereka untuk menerima apa-apa faedah yang disediakan oleh PKSO.
In Kelantan, a total of 4,910 Kafa teachers are SACSO contributors.
Well, Telecom Malaysia Berhad TM has embarked on a total of 11 use cases in Langkawi and deployed the operations of an Integrated Operations Command Center, or IOCC, which is at the heart of 5G implementation in Pulau Langkawi. Well, a state-of-the-art IOCC, also known as 5G Command Center or 5GCC, is an integrated command center where the data feed and dashboard monitoring of TM 5G network and use cases in Langkawi are centralized. Now, the Group Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Nur Kamarul Anwar Nuruddin, said the company is fully supportive of Malaysia Communications and Multimedia Commission's 5G demonstration project, or MCMC's 5GDP. TM is currently testing the implementation of a converged 5G core network, which allows coexistence of a non-standalone, or NSA, 5G-enabled on-current 4G network and standalone, or SA, dedicated 5G network in Pulau Langkawi. Well, SA is the future of the 5G network deployment, and this demonstration is crucial to fast-track 5G implementation in the country. Now, with the implementation of the SA network in Langkawi for the 5GDP, TM is the first telco that has deployed the first SA dedicated 5G network in the country and in the region. TM is also the first telco in the region to update the radio access network, RAN, and devices with SA dedicated 5G network. It said for the 5GDP in Langkawi, the company has deployed the highest number of 5G use cases among the participating telcos, and all the 5G network and use cases sites can be monitored via the dashboard and the 5GCC monitored by an expert and qualified technical team. Iran Revolutionary Guards have seized a ship suspected of fuel smuggling and arrested 16 Malaysian crew members. Now, the website of the IRIB state television said the guards confiscated 1.3 million litres of smuggled fuel from the unnamed vessel 15 nautical miles from Abu Musa Island. Now, the Guards Naval Commander for the region, Brigadier General Ali Osmai, said this is the sixth ship smuggling fuel that the Guards has confiscated. And tensions have been high in the Gulf this year after the United States stepped up a stated campaign of, quote, maximum pressure, unquote, on Iran following its withdrawal from a landmark nuclear deal in 2018. While the escalation saw ships mysteriously attacked, drones downed, and oil tankers seized in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a checkpoint for a third of the world's seaborne oil. And that concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, 5 family members perish in early morning house fire. News on 2 will be back at 7 this evening with more updates. Till then, I'm Carlos, and wishing you a great day ahead.